G'day everybody, hope you're having a good start to your week, and I hope you had a good weekend. If you're a surfer and you're on the East Coast, you definitely did. It was absolutely pumping. The best waves I've seen in Noosa, maybe ever. Geez, that's a big statement to make, but it was like 6 foot clean, glassy, slow makeable barrels. I was in Sydney, so I didn't get to get any of it. And yeah, all you got to do is go to Coastal Watch or Swellnet and you'll see some of the footage. It was absolutely insane, and I'm very sad that I couldn't be a part of it. Anyway, back to the markets. Certainly a decent pullback over the weekend. Of course, we did have quite a good push up on the Saturday, and on the Sunday, down 9%. So, yeah, no big deal. Yeah, as I said last week as well, we were looking at last week. From about here, I was saying I wouldn't be surprised to see a sharp pullback. We just kept moving higher, and then we got it. Look where we are though, back in that cradle zone. You little ripper. That's what we want. Now here's a bit of analysis for you. Here is the forming of an uptrend: higher low, higher high. Now we're in an uptrend. Now let's have a look at how often that has occurred, and let's have a look at what has happened following that. Higher low, higher high, straight back down. Higher low, higher high, straight back down. Where is the other one? Over here, higher low, higher high, straight back down. We haven't seen another wave of buying after the trend has begun for, well, geez, over a year. Each time we would set a trend to the upside, we would then come off. So it's really quite critical in my view. If we can hold here, set a bullish candle and move to a new higher high and clear this level, then that certainly bodes well for a more bullish sentiment to start to come in. And I mean real bullish sentiment, not just people thinking, oh wow, this is great. I'm talking about, real historical data backed significance, and I'm watching that closely. So Bitcoin's back in that cradle zone right now. Be very interesting to see what the next 24 hours brings. Will we see it plunge further? Right where we are now, I'm cool. I'm very happy with where we are. It's I need pullbacks to trade unless it's a breakout. I love to have pullbacks into that cradle zone. Got it on Bitcoin, got it on Ethereum, got it on EOS. All three of these markets back in that cradle zone. The rest of the top 10, I'm not really interested in any of these right now, ladies and gentlemen. They're a bit average, not the best looking charts. Let's have a look at the Bitcoin top 10 as well, and have a look at how that's positioned. Ethereum against Bitcoin, again, back in that cradle zone, bullish candle in an uptrend. Let's see how we go here. We might get a trade this time tomorrow. It might have set up. If you know the rules, keep your eye on it tomorrow morning. Ripple against Bitcoin, it continues to downtrend. I'm happy to trade that short, but the chart structure is just a little bit too messy there for me. Bitcoin Cash, again, pretty messy. Cardano, again, pretty messy. Litecoin against Bitcoin. Look, it is in an uptrend as far as, this is a higher high. Oh, it's kind of a bit consolidation range bound right now, but the bigger picture is up, but not really that much interest to me right now. IOTA Bitcoin on the week is going to look bearish, back in that cradle zone, but nothing really, unless we can break down through this support, will I be on to that properly. EOS Bitcoin, beautiful chart there, absolute little ripper. Not interested on the 16, only the higher time frames here, and it is on my list, as you can see by that little red blotch. Monero still inside of that range, not interested, and Stellar Lumen's also not really interested there. So look, it's going to be a pretty interesting 24 hours in my view. What's going to happen? Look, I don't know. I don't have a bloody crystal ball. But what I can tell you is the sky falling? Not from my opinion. It's back into the cradle zone. We'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. Be nice to not see the low of this candle break and just hold and move up slightly. Failing that, we may actually see more selling coming in. But until I see anything other than what is on the chart right now, i.e. a pullback into that cradle zone, I'm not going to change my perspective. The trend is up. It's as simple as that. It's back in the cradle zone. That's what I'm after. I hope you enjoyed that. And something else to say to you. This week I'm interviewing a lot of what are they called? Fund managers in the blockchain and crypto space. So if you're not already, go and subscribe to the podcast. It's the Trader Cobb Crypto Show. You can find it on the website. You can find it on wherever you get your podcasts from. There'll be a lot more interviews coming out with me interviewing these, I guess, people that manage larger amounts of money. So I'm keen to hear what they're looking for, what they're investing in, what they're seeing, how they're positioning themselves, and those sorts of things to get a bit of a better understanding. Join me as I interview them, and let's build it out. Let's see what we can come up with and see what we can learn from these people. So get across and subscribe to the Trader Cobb Crypto Podcast, and I will speak to you again later in the week. Bye for now.